Hello and welcome to Golf FM. This is a test on the I530 and the G430 from Ping. I haven't done this test before, and I probably haven't done this test before because I didn't automatically think that these two clubs were competitors or choices for someone who was looking for a set of Ping irons, because the G430 has that traditional game improvement mid to high handicap look with it all cut out at the back and a bit of offset, and the I530 is trying to look like a blade and is doing a pretty good job of that. Player's distance iron category, you would put this in where it has a forged face, really soft feel, thin top line, not a lot of offset, something that looks like a blade designed for a better player but yet packs a punch and lots of forgiveness as well. So on paper they were slightly different to me, and I never really felt like they should go head to head, but somebody suggested it in the comments, and actually I think it's a good idea. And when you look at them on paper, both the same loft, 29 degrees, which is really strong for a 7 iron, but that's just a fact of life these days, that irons are getting stronger. Apart from the blade type ones that don't offer a lot of forgiveness, they tend to be 34 degrees things and 33 degrees, that type of thing, for 7 iron. So yeah, perfectly fair test to do, and one I haven't done. So I think what I would expect to happen on this, and it'll be interesting to see what the stats say, but I would expect them to go fairly similar distances, but for the I530 to feel softer. Looks is in the eye of the beholder, so I won't dwell on that too much, but in terms of performance, I'm not expecting to see a massive difference. I think the I530 might offer quite a lot of forgiveness as well as the G430, but interesting to see what, if any, differences there are between the two clubs. So let's get on with it. Right, so have a look quickly at the heads before I hit the G430. I'll go with that first. The same shafts effectively, and this very similar, both dynamic gold. Slightly different, I've got the 105 S300 in the G430 and the dynamic gold mid 100 in the I530, but similar weight, similar sort of shafts, and ones that I use, so I'm used to this. So when I put them down together, the thing that jumps out at me the most is there's a little bit of offset on the G430. Apart from that, actually the top lines are pretty similar. I thought that the G430's top line was going to look a little bit thicker, but it actually doesn't. It possibly looks a little bit bigger, the G430 head, side by side in the bag like that. Yeah, possibly. It's not that much bigger, no. I don't know if it is any bigger. Probably just very similar. And the bottom of it, the sole, looks a little bit wider on the G430, and it is definitely a bit longer, fractionally longer heel to toe. So it's a fractionally bigger head. So not a lot in it, head size and top line. It's just that little bit of offset. And if you don't know what offset is, it is just a slight design tweak that helps towards stopping the ball going to the right. So if you slice the ball, generally you would argue that you want a little bit of offset on it just to help with that. So the G430 has that, the I530 doesn't have that really. It's pretty much straight out, and to me, I like the no offset look, but it doesn't always work with everybody. That quite a lot of people would like the offset. It gives them a bit of comfort and reassurance, that little bit of offset. Right, so we'll go with G430 first and see how that performs and put it up against the I530. Felt a decent strike, a little bit out to the right. And what we've got, 167 in there, 181. So good distance there, 4.7 on the spin, 18 degrees launch. Not a perfect middle strike. Feel that amazing, felt a wee bit hard. 175 in the air, 190, so good distances again. For a non-perfect strike, that was really good. Held on to a lot of the distance, and that is actually what forgiveness is more than anything, is holding on to distance. I think there's a preconception with forgiveness that somehow it's how much dispersion there is. And yes, it can be towards that, but that's actually quite hard to define on a test like this, because I'm a human being, and a lot of times when I hit it offline, it will be me, and there's nothing a club can do. If you come, say, from the inside with the face open, you'll hit push slice, for example. You hit it way right. And no amount of forgiveness will know to bring that ball back to the left towards the target. The club doesn't know that the target's there, it just reacts to the way that you swing it. So holding on to distance is actually probably the more important thing. So you know, when you hit a shot at a target, say on a par 3, and you think you've picked the right club, you've got a 7 iron in, and you hit it on line, but you know you didn't get it. You got it a little bit out the bottom of the club or the toe of the heel, and you're looking at it thinking, please get there, please get there. I didn't quite hit that. A forgiving club will just about get there. It will get on the front of the green, might not get up to the flag, but you'll be putting. Something like a blade or a lower handicapper's club or something that isn't that forgiving, that'll come down 20 yards short of the target if you hit it like that. That's the big difference with forgiveness. And a lot of these clubs, G430, I530 included, they hang on to the distance better. That's what you're buying when you buy forgiveness, for me. That's out to the right. High right and handsome, high right and not handsome. 170 to 184. A little bit straighter, I would think, but not flushed. I don't think I've flushed one yet. Again, 171 to 186, not flushing it. That's what you're buying, forgiveness. Again, not 100%, and a little bit left. Does that end up going 168, 185 again? Hang on to the distance pretty well. Again, not flushed. I'm trying to flush one, but I can't actually manage it at the moment. I'm sorry about this. 171 for 185 again, not hitting it that well, but doing all right. That was a better strike. Ah, the jinx of the Skytrack is back again. The minute I mention I've hit out the middle, Skytrack says, all right, okay, we'll just chalk that one off. Right, hopefully it's had time to settle itself. It knows that it shouldn't do that. It knows that's bad behaviour. That was an even better strike, so hopefully it got that. Yes, well done, Skytrack. There you go, 182, 199. So it's a powerful beast, this club, when you get out the middle. See if I can do two like that. That would be miraculous. That was a good strike again, and it didn't get it. You're having a laugh. So is that every other stroke that I get? Is that what I'm allowed? Come on, we're in this together, Skytrack. Come on, just help me out. Too much fast to get 3 good strikes in a row. That was a good strike, but I think I hit it right. It's funny, I can just feel instinctively when the Skytrack's going to register, and just knew it would register there. 179, 193. So again, good distance, even for not hitting it 100%. Right, couple more, and then we'll get onto the I530, because there's no point becoming a sweaty mess, thrashing balls forever, just to get the same results as I'm getting at the moment. That was a good strike, a little bit pushed, but I'll probably do that with the I530, so I wouldn't worry about it. It'll be all the same. Yeah, look at that, 184, 200. Powerful animal. Felt quite good. The few that I did get out the middle actually felt really good. I wouldn't say it felt ultra soft or anything, but it felt good enough. And even the misstrikes weren't that bad. It didn't suddenly sound clattery and loud and horrible. Quite impressed how well it seemed to cope with my inability to hit the middle of the club. So we'll try I530 and see how it goes. I do like the look of this a lot. It's a fairly big head on it, but it's just got such a nice clean line, and the no offset thing just looks really good. I just really like it. Pretty good. I don't think it was absolutely middle maybe, but it's pretty close. 180 for 195. Yep, good. Toey strike. See how it hangs on to the distance there. Not bad, 173, 188. That's the sort of shot I would hit on the course a lot and be looking at it thinking, oh, is it going to get there, is it going to get there? And it's done all right. There's a lot of distance still in that, it hasn't lost loads. Better strike, more closer to being right out the middle. I wouldn't say it's an absolute flusher. Well, it's gone well again, 182, 199. As suspected, being the same loft 29 degrees, there's not a lot of difference in the ultimate distance that they're going. Yeah, not 100%, but pretty close. Like a 95% strike. Pretty good for that, 183, 198. Easy distance for these clubs. Pretty good again. Similar strike to the last one, I would say. 184 for 199. I'd like to get one where I'd like to get one where I'm just in love with the strike. We'll see if we can achieve that before we go. It's a better, juicier strike. I think I pushed it a bit. I'd like to hit that strike dead straight would be nice. No, it's just gone the same, 183, 190. That's probably because I hit it right and I got a little bit more loft on it. Do it in the face, would have been open. No, toe. That's one quite capable of hitting quite a lot. What's that gone? Yeah, that's pretty bad. 167. But that did feel like I nearly missed the club. 167, 184. So I suppose a little small midging off an air shot, it's actually gone quite well. Getting good, but I think I could get a more buttery strike than that. Yeah, 177, 192 is not that great. Right, let's go for a flusher. And then you know what will happen, Skytrack will miss it. That was a flusher. Oh my god, it did actually happen. Oh no, it didn't happen. It took an absolute age. I thought it was going to be evil on me there, just on cue. 188204, see I told you there was a bit more in it. That was a flush mode central, that one. What was it, 188, yeah. Well, why don't we just leave it there? Because it's a mixed bag, same as the G430 was. I know it didn't have a 204, but I reckon I'd probably get a 204 at the G430 as well, to be honest. Well, a 188, okay, carry. Remember carry. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, the 204 figure actually works when you play a lot of the golf courses. I play like the East Links, North Berwick, the Glen here, and also like Gullen, where it does bounce on the greens are hard, especially most of the year, most of the good playing season. You get a big jump on with a club like this before it starts spinning and stopping. So we need to look at the figures now for these. Let's have a look at the figures. Okay, so the speed on both is similar, 118 to 120. Now, they weren't identical batches, there was different shots in there, so I really don't think the speed coming off the face is going to be that much difference. Okay, if you want to see that it's 2 miles an hour more on the I530, then you can take that on board. I would argue that if you hit these exhaustively, there wouldn't be a lot of difference in the speed off the face. Launch, very similar, you would expect that with the same loft. Backspin, 4.5, 440, yeah, so it's similar, actually slightly more spin on the G430, but again, it's like 100 RPM, and that's over a small amount of shots, which could have been just the actual batch quality more than anything else. Carry 174 to 179, so 5 yards of a difference on this batch, these particular batches. I don't think there will be much of a difference in terms of the actual distance overall. The I530 has a hollow body, so it's effectively a cavity back iron, but you don't see it, it's closed over, and so there is a lot of forgiveness inside. And has a very thin face, as does the G430, and they're supposed to flex a wee bit and give you a bit of ball speed off. I don't know, maybe the ping mechanics can tell me that actually, yeah, there is a bit more spring in the i530, and you would expect it to go a little bit faster off the face than the G430, but I would think that they will be pretty close in distance, as I've said. Yeah, on this particular batch it was a little bit better, the i530. Total 189 and 194, so again 5-6 yards there. Descent angle 42, so similar, and very, very similar in terms of the actual distance figures. And actually probably one thing that's showing up there that might show improved results on the i530's part is the fact that my swing speed average is 85 on the batch of the i530s, and it was 84 on the G430, so that could explain the slight difference there. So in summary, which one should you go for? Well, I would suggest it comes down to two things: budget and whether you hit the ball to the right as your mistake. So the G430s, I think, are about £900 for a sort of 7-iron set. It all depends how many clubs you get. And these i530s are about £1,200 for a similar set of irons. So there's quite a bit of a difference in price. And that's a lot down to this forged face on the i530s. More expensive to manufacture and put in there. And this is a cast head, so it's a little bit cheaper to manufacture than the i530. So that's a consideration. The other consideration, as I said, is the fact that do you hit it to the right as your bad shot. So if you are constantly seeing the ball drifting away right like that, not so much a push, but more of a slightly across set and the ball slicing away, G430 all day long, because that has that little bit of offset, which is trying its best to help you with that. I530, more for the people who, if you have a two-way miss, if you can hit hooks, all sorts, if you hit it straight, it'd be a good club. If you hit it with a slight draw, I would say it's more the one to go for. because of the fact that it doesn't have that offset and it's not trying to bring the ball back to the left. So that would be my overall conclusion on that. Budget, and if you hit it to the right, G430. If you don't hit it exclusively to the right, I530 might be the one for you, and also if you don't mind spending a little bit extra, because they are quite a bit more expensive. So if you've got any further questions, put them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.